Good afternoon guys from Belfast Lanyon Place railway station, and very shortly I'm going to be beaming myself aboard the Enterprise. It's going to take me all the way down to Dublin this afternoon. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's something I've been wanting to do for ages. I've been told it's a fantastic train. Let's go and take a ride on it, and I will see you on the journey. Cheers for now. So, the Enterprise service, well, it started out way back in 1947 to compete with air and road transport between Belfast and Dublin. Now, I thought it was a strange name for a train service, to be honest. Is it a particularly enterprising approach to initiate a rail link between two separate countries, so to speak? Well, maybe it is. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Anyway, it's retained its name ever since, although it's been a bit of a stop-start service throughout its life, partly a result of the troubles in Northern Ireland, but also structural issues which have occurred along the line. Today's push-pull train set consisted of a Class 201 locomotive at the rear, with a Mark III generator van, 4 standard carriages, the catering coach, a first-class carriage and a DVT number 9002 at the front. And I wandered down the platform a bit, as I tend to do, and eventually settled on coach number 9211. Most of this stocker was over 25 years old, but first impressions upon boarding, well, the interior looked quite modern and smart. Not sure about the colour of the seats, to be honest, but I've seen worse, I suppose. Let's take a closer look, shall we, before we get going. There is a conventional power socket available in the sidewall of the carriage, which is a good start, isn't it? Now, the carpeted floor was clean, with decent legroom between the seats. The configuration of standard class was the normal 2-2, but it was all table seating, though the seats nearest the doors had half tables and just one seat on the one side as shown here. The seats themselves had good padding. Note that although they had individual backs, it was actually continuous on the horizontal section, a bit like a bench seat, which I thought was quite unusual really. Above the seats, a digital seat reservation system was in operation, which reminded me a bit of GWR's newest fleet really. And there was a destination display, clock and toilet occupied indicator at both ends of the carriage. Audible station stops were also in operation. Note the lack of conventional luggage racks here. There was storage for larger items near the vestibules, but yeah, unusual. I've not really seen this in a standard carriage layout before. Anyway, we left Lanyon Place on time and slowly made our way through the Belfast suburbs towards our first stop, which would be Portadown.
The next stop is Portadown.
Right, so we were just coming into Portadown now. A TV personality Gloria Hunniford was born here, did you know? Also Michael O'Neill, who was the Northern Ireland football team manager between 2011 and 2020. I will leave Portadown and pass through several other small stations without stopping, including this one at Points Pass, I think it's pronounced, which I thought was notable, if only for its unusual name. It sounded almost like something you'd find in the Swiss Alps, doesn't it? Now at this point I thought I'd take a wander up the train, just to see if I could find the catering car and the first class carriage. And my ticket, you see, was a web voucher fare, priced at £10.99 or €13, and it included a hot drinks voucher. Well, this turned out to be absolutely useless, because when I arrived at the catering coach, it was closed. And I couldn't even gain entry, as it was guarded by a completely underworked member of staff, presumably employed just to tell people it was closed. Anyway, hoping to get some footage of the carriage and the first class seating, I asked if I could have a quick look anyway, take a few shots, and I also inquired about upgrading to first class, so I thought this would probably be the only way I'd be allowed past. Well, they said they would speak to the train manager, whoever that was, asked where I was sitting, and they would come and find me. I thought this was a bit odd, but nevertheless I returned to my seat and, yeah, guess what? Nobody showed up. Despite the fact I was offering to give them more money. Some guy did walk past later on who I thought could possibly be the train manager. He had some kind of uniform on, but they just walked straight past me. So pretty poor customer service really from the couple of staff members on board who just seemed to me like they were totally uninterested in their job. I will at this point convey my sincere apologies for the lack of first class or catering footage in this video, and I hope the aforementioned issues explain why that is. Anyway, we crossed the border just outside Dundalk, and as we slowly approached the station, I noticed some beaten up old trains in the sidings here. And maybe this is where old Enterprise trains come to die. You'll notice how wide the platforms are, and here, sandwiched between the station buildings, is the quirky signal box of Dundalk Central. And actually I thought the stations in the Republic were much more attractive architecturally than those in the north. Now for me, they were the highlights of some otherwise fairly featureless countryside, to be honest. Yeah, I thought Dundalk was quite an interesting station really. And as we left I thought it was an ideal time to check out the toilet. So stand by guys as we come to what is commonly known as the loo review section. Okay, so doors are open, closed and locked via the push button method, and to the left of this we have a mirror beneath which are the soap, water and hand dryer functions. A massive button here that you need to press for the water, and it took me ages to find the soap for some reason, but yeah, here it is. You can see it when you're crouching down of course. The hand dryer worked. There was another mirror to the left above a grab handle, and beneath that, at floor level, was the emergency assistance alarm. A litter bin here, some assorted toilet rolls, some more toilet rolls beneath the window, and continuing round the baby changing facility, which was pretty clean I thought. So yeah, no problem at all with the toilet facilities on this train. Overall, nice and clean and perfectly satisfactory. I returned to my seat and logged onto the Enterprise Wi-Fi, which was easy enough to access, and was able to perform some basic tasks and some social media use. I'm not much good for streaming anything, but they do tell you that when you log on, to be fair. I've had better and I've had worse. So anyway, we plodded on until we reached the outskirts of Dublin, and I thought about some of the other videos I'd watched from well-known train enthusiast YouTubers on here, going on about what an amazing and pioneering train it is. And I was really excited about travelling on it, but despite my initial enthusiasm, I found it all a bit of a letdown, and it certainly didn't live up to my earlier expectations. Maybe I was unlucky with the staff this time around, and I'm sure food and drink will return at some point. But this was my experience of this particular service, and I'll tell it as I found it. No catering, no customer service, no upgrades available, and slow. Really slow. Naturally, this train used to be one of the slowest intercity services in Western Europe. That's some achievement, isn't it? Today's journey involved a stop at 4 intermediate stations, but it had an average speed of just 58 miles per hour for the 2 hours and 5 minutes it took to complete the journey. And that's pretty terrible, really, isn't it? In comparison, the bus or coach service takes only 5 minutes longer, and it's marginally cheaper. Air Coach currently operate from Belfast Glengall Street to Dublin city centre for a price of €11, and they run around 13 services a day at present. So would I take this train again? No. Is there a viable alternative? Yeah, it's the coach. Next time I'm over here, I might just try that out. Right guys, Dublin Colony railway station, just got here on the Enterprise train from Belfast, and what do you think of that? I thought it was poor, to be honest. There's no catering on board whatsoever, and so you've got to bring your own food and drink. I did ask the staff if I could take some shots of the catering carriage, unresponsive. I also asked them if I could upgrade to first class, and again, nobody seemed to be interested at all. So I think the service, generally speaking, has left a lot to be desired. Would I do it again? No. It's slow. Don't like to say this, but I think in line with a lot of other people's thinking, I'd probably take the car. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. That's my experience. Please tell me yours if you've been on this service. And until the next time, guys, thank you very much for watching, and cheers for now.